Rhiannon Price, Head of Qualitative at Northstar Research, London. Well, I, like many other people, fell into market research. So I went on a finding myself trip around the world when I graduated university, and it was my last 2 weeks in Vietnam, and I met someone who worked at a research company, and she decided, when I told her what I wanted to do, talk to people, have a variation in the work that I did, be analytical, travel, she said that she actually thought I'd be very good at market research. So I really didn't know that market research was a career that I could or would want to get into, but yeah, it became very clear when I started to do work experience places that the variety and the fact you meet so many interesting people, and I'm lucky enough to meet so many interesting people around the world, that really is for me a key motivator for why I do it. So currently, as head of Qual, I have a few different remits. Obviously, I still am responsible for the sort of the conception of projects, the execution and the delivery. I'm also responsible for the people around me and ensuring that they are developing and being creative and innovating, and also making sure that as a company that our qualitative practice is pushing boundaries as much as we can try and do. Ooh, so much is rewarding. I find the analysis part really, really rewarding. When finally you have that eureka moment and everything makes sense. I find, obviously it's very rewarding when you're trying to convey your story to the people that are actually going to be able to use it, and actually start to see things being implemented or changing within the products or the services that you're researching. But also the international side of it for me is really rewarding. I love being exposed to so many different cultures, meeting not even the respondents, but the moderators and translators that I meet all over the world, and just getting a different point of view of the world is what I find rewarding as well. I think being a researcher is a balance of giving a bit of yourself to your analysis and your work, and also removing yourself from your analysis and your work, particularly when you're doing international stuff. You know, you can go in with a lot of preconceptions on a base level about what you think about brands or services, and then on a country level, well, this is how it works in the UK, or this is how it works in the US, something you're very familiar with. It's really important to try and take yourself out of that, but that can be a huge challenge to try and be subjective and objective at the same time, because a lot of researchers are good because it's something that comes from within, and it's a judgment, but having too much of that can sometimes impact having the right judgment. I'm probably proudest of the international work that I've done on a level that it's involved, you know, my biggest studies have been 11 countries that have been BRIC and then beyond BRIC. So in sort of conducting research in markets that aren't necessarily market research mature, trying to, you know, just the executionally, but also analytically trying to marry up what someone in a very developed market like the UK or the US would think compared to someone in like Saudi Arabia or India or Chile or places like that. I find that the proudest moment is that the ability to execute and analyse international, culturally sensitive projects. Ooh, that's an interesting question. I think the great thing about this company, I think the great thing about other market research, smaller market research agencies, is you're creators of your own destiny, both as an individual and as a company. I think if you're agile and flexible, you can go as far as you want to go, as quickly as you want to go. And I know that a lot of other agencies our size are exactly the same. So for me, I'm very lucky in that I don't feel there's one route I can take or one route I should take. I know that if I push myself, I can create a role that doesn't even exist if I needed to. And for the company, I think we will continue to try and innovate and shake up the way that maybe people have been doing things or thinking about things, particularly when it comes to deliverables and how you actually get your message heard within organisations. I think that's something that market researchers are a bit complacent about against other industries. Oh, that's another good question. I'm actually really lucky to have a huge amount of inspiration around me within this office. I think my boss has always been a massive inspiration to me. And I think also I'm becoming more and more inspired by the graduates that are coming in. I think it's a real noticeable energy. And even when I go to conferences and stuff, some of the younger people that are presenting, I find way more interesting and way more inspirational than some of the people that are arguably more experienced. So I don't think there's a figurehead per se, and I don't think there should be a figurehead. I think that people should be taking inspiration from all the different corners of the industry, and particularly from the young people that are coming up through it.
Source LF are London's leading creative communications and media recruitment agency. Be sure to like our video and subscribe to this channel. Take the moment to watch another of our videos on screen now.